Hi everybody, it's me, Daisha. Hi. Today I would like to share a story of mine from when I was little, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. All right. When I was about 8 years old, I developed a cyst under my tongue, right there, and the cyst got bigger, filled up half my mouth, made my tongue kind of sit sideways, even couldn't talk well. I went in routinely. Hold on, let me see. I kind of drew a picture of it. It's not too great, but kind of what it looked like, sort of. But I would go in routinely and get it drained. They'd stick a needle in, drain fluid out to make it get a little smaller, more manageable. But unfortunately, it didn't help it at all. It just would pop right back up like the next day. And eventually they were like, no, this isn't working, so we're going to have to do surgery to cut it out. So we went in, and I remember them going to put the mask on me, like the oxygen mask, when they went to go put me to sleep, and I was terrified. I kicked, I screamed, they had to restrain me, and then I remember everything just went, whoop, everything went like that. Everything went black. And then I woke up in the hospital, but I was surrounded by my mom, my dad. People from the church had sent some gifts. I had letters from kids at school, so that was kind of nice. Sometime around that same time of my surgery, I had this very interesting dream, and so I'd like to share that with you. I've never really shared this with anyone for nearly 20 years, and I never, felt the need to until now. But anyway, let me share that with you. In my dream, and I drew pictures to kind of what, because I can remember the dream like it was yesterday, so I was trying to remember it, so I wrote it, I drew pictures so I could kind of show you, maybe you can visualize what I was seeing in my dream. So in my dream, granted I'm 8 years old, I woke up in my bed. I had a day bed at the time, and I looked out the window, and all I could see was fire. There was fire on everything. Every house was on fire, the fence, the trees, I mean everything. You could feel the heat from the outside. You could smell the smoke. Here's another picture here. Everything on fire. Granted, surprisingly, wasn't scared. But it was just calm, very quiet. And I turned from the window to the other side of my room, and I saw this. There was a pair of really bright white hands just floating in the middle of the room with a stool underneath it, and there was a line of people at the stool going all the way out the door, all the way out through my house. And people would step up on this stool, and the pair of hands would grab them around their waist and just kind of go boop, and they'd disappear. And one right after the other, just they'd step up on the stool and boop, they disappeared. So I'm like, okay. So I got up, went over to the stool, stood up, and boop, up I went. And as soon as I was lifted up, now bear with me, I'm not good at drawing people at all, but I saw a man, just his face, long gray hair, long gray mustache, beard, and there was just all around his face, all around him, it was just like glowing white, like kind of pulsating almost, like it was just very, very bright light. And didn't say anything. Just put me back in my bed, and then I woke up. Now I found out a Sunday later, I'm sitting in church with my mom, and she stands up to give a praise in church, and proceeds to tell the church that when I was put under for my surgery, I had an allergic reaction to the anesthesia. They even thought I might have had malignant hyperthermia, but I think it was more of an allergic reaction. I've never been tested, but anyway, my throat began to close up, my muscles started spasming, I was having masseter spasms, and the line that they use, emergency line they use to call for rapid response or call for code blue like they do in the hospitals. Well, they go to call, and it's busy. They can't get through. So they're left with just them with no help. So the doctor, I guess, wound up having to intubate me. And I guess he had to like force the breathing tube down my throat because of how swollen it was. And which it made, I'm sitting there looking up at my mom sitting in the pew like, what are you talking about? Because they didn't tell me. That's the first time I was hearing about it, and I was like, what? Kind of scared me a little bit because, heck, I didn't know. And anywho, so didn't really realize the significance of my dream till then. I don't really think it was like a near-death experience like some people say, since I didn't like actually stop breathing and my heart didn't like stop beating, so I didn't like die. Could have, but didn't. Could it have been about, Jesus returning? I don't know. I was 8 at the time. I knew no details at all about Jesus coming back. Like, I don't know why I would see fire, everything on fire. I may have been told, oh, Jesus is going to come back one day, but I didn't know, like the details I know now. But I think it was more, to me, saying, hey, I believe anyway that it was Jesus saying, hey, I'm here, you're safe, I'm watching over you. And you can interpret it however you want, but that's what I believe. And I just felt I needed to share that with everybody. That's just one of my experiences. I have a few others that, if you ever wonder why I'm so passionate about my beliefs and my faith, that's one of the reasons why. But I have many other experiences that you can't convince me otherwise that, God does not exist, because I fully believe that He does. I don't know what else to tell you. I've experienced things, seen things that, granted, I'll share with some of those with you on a later time. And I know, some people have a hard time believing, and I do know that there are Christians out there or groups of Christians that kind of give us a bad rep, and there are some. One of the biggest things is, this is what they forget. This is the number one thing. I don't know if you can see it because I wrote it backwards, but it says love one another. Can you see it? There we go. That's one of the biggest things that people forget is we're called to love everyone, regardless of who they are, where they come from. We need to accept them where they are, just as Jesus has accepted us where we are. I mean, and granted, sometimes it's very hard. There are some people out there that are very, very difficult, and they make it very difficult to love them. But that's what one of the biggest things that us as Christians are called to do is, you know, to love one another, accept one another, and we need to be an example, and we need to, you know, be as close to Christ as we can. Now, we're not perfect. A lot of people hold Christians to a big higher standard than others. But it's important to remember that we are all human and we're going to mess up. We just are. I mean, hello. I'm not perfect. You know, I'm still struggling with, there's certain, you know, forgive me, but curse words that I say that I know I really shouldn't, and they just are automatic. They just come out when I get hurt, and they just come right out of my mouth, and it's awful, I know. But I am praying on it and working about that. But, you know, there are a lot of things. I mean, I get angry, I get grouchy. Like this morning, I was really grouchy, and I wasn't a very nice person, and I'm sorry to anyone who had to be around that. But, you know, it's just, you need to keep in mind that, you know, we're not perfect either. Everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. I mean, another example, look at little Randy, you know, he didn't get here by godly ways, as you would say. You know, we weren't married when, you know, God blessed us with him. And, you know, a lot of people look down on that, and, you know, it happens. And not saying it's right, but, you know, it's just, hey, you just kind of need to realize, hey, you know what, I don't make good decisions. You know, it's just all about accepting the fact that, hey, yeah, you're not a great person. Nobody is. We all are. I mean, the human race can be really awful and cruel sometimes. But as long as you can see that, accept that, and say, hey, I need help with this, and, you know, are able to come to Christ and God and say, hey, I'm messing up. This is what's going on. You know, please forgive me. And it's done. It's gone. Your slate's wiped clean. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And, you know, I don't know what else I can say, but I just felt like I needed to share that with everyone. And, you know, people make Christianity a lot more complicated, I think, too, than what they need to. You know, it's all about accepting Christ as your Savior and accepting Him into your heart. And you don't have to change for Him. You know, you can come right now. It don't matter, you know, where you are in your life. You know, He'll just meet you where you are. And as long as you strive to try and put Him first in everything that you do, and, you know, put your family and, you know, put Him first, your relationship with Him first. You put your family, other people second, and then you put yourself at last. You know, when you use that order, it's amazing. I mean, things just flow. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, I've learned so much in my journey that, you know, I'm taking a lot of time talking to you about right now, and I'll probably explain later. But I just, you know, I want everyone to, you know, take from this, you know, just, you know, we need to love each other. We need to be there for each other, accept each other. I don't care if they're gay, if they're straight, if they're your neighbor, if they're a prisoner, if they're, you know, if they've gotten an abortion before or thinking about one. I don't care if, you know, they're homeless, if they're rich and have a mansion. I don't care who they are. You know, we're called to love those people. And if you're having trouble doing that and accepting somebody for where they are in life, then you know, just pray about it and pray for the Lord to help heal your heart and to help Him to help you love even the most unlovable people. Because, you know, He does that for us, and we should be willing to do that for other people. And that's all I can think of to say right now. I've had a whole lot more to say, but I'm taking up so much time. You know, it's just one of those things that, like I said, you can't change my mind otherwise, and it's the best feeling in the world. It is liberating. It's like this freedom and this inner peace that you can't put a price on. And, you know, it's knowing that there's someone always there for you when no one here on earth is. I mean, I've had times where I felt like there was nobody there for me, and I just have to be reminded to pray, and by the end of it, I felt 100% better. But I just felt like I needed to share with everybody one of my interesting stories that many people may not know, and, you know, an interesting dream I had that, you know, you may believe, you may not, but hey, that's, you know, your choice. I'm not here to force anyone to try to believe what I do. I'm just simply sharing my beliefs with you, and if you agree, great, and if you don't, then, you know, I hope that one day you can see the amazing things and experience the things I have, you know, and that's all I can say. And anyway, so I'm sorry I ramble. I do. People who know me know I write books. If I write you, I can't write you a simple little, you know, sentence answer or a sentence response. I write like a paragraph, like a big old book. And I'm sorry, but that's, you know, that's how I am. I'm usually a quiet person, very quiet, and, you know, to myself, I try not to rock the boat and say too much, but, you know, I felt called to speak with you today, and which is why I'm so nervous, because I've never done anything like this before, ever. So there you have it. I will try to share some more interesting tidbits with you at a later time. When I was younger, I did I would pray to God and get direct answers, and I was a lot younger then, but I'll share one of those with you at a later time. But I just wanted to share this with you, and I'm repeating myself, so I'm gonna go now. All right, bye everybody. I'll talk to you at a later time.